Thank you.
Tupigie Higgins makofi tafadhali. Just clap, 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 clap. Comrades, power. Comrades, power. On my watch, it's exactly noon. I wanted to release you at noon so that I talk to the accounts people to sort you. Give me your ears. I'm talking to you. Just give me your ears. It doesn't cost you much. This is the point. I was supposed to release you at exactly noon. Okay. Aaron Kipsang Kering, I have got your ID. You can pick it from here. Now, quickly, it's noon. I'm supposed to release you so that then I know some of you are going far. But I'll do this. There are some questions that have not been responded to. I'd love us to move as gentlemen and ladies. Sawa sawa? Hello? Yeah, wave from pigia tu nipungie mkono tu hivi. UDA. UDA, kazi ni kazi. Like I said, we are unapologetically UDA. Whether things are working, whether things are not comfortable, we are UDA and we like it. Sawa sawa? Sawa. UDA. Kazi ni kazi. Kwa hivyo, I will take 3 questions, allow them to answer, then we do housekeeping because hamjakunywa maji. I need to sort you. I need to ensure you are taken care of. Sawa? Ama namna gani? Comrades, power! Comrades, power! Comrades, transact! Comrades, disperse! Imefika hiyo time, so muharakishe. Hapo. A question. Faster. Bring me the mic.
One per row.
Yes. One per row. Okay, the rest of you sit down and listen.
Comrades, power.
Power.
Comrades, power. My question is this. To our beloved president and the UDA party. Wacha niongee Kiswahili ndio ingie vizuri Mimi nataka kuuliza hivi. Mko na mpango gani ya kupigana na corruption? Kwa sababu
give him your ears please.
Kwa sababu hii Kenya imekuwa hivi. Kenya imekuwa sasa siku hizi ni uko na nini na unajua nani. Number 2, we elect an MCA. Ngoja tu kidogo. We elect an MCA akiwa hana kitu kabisa. Akiingia pale within a span of 3 years ama 2 years ashakuwa na gari kubwa, ashatoka shimo. Lakini wenye walimsupport hawana kitu. Hata saizi hapa corruption bado iko. Kwa sababu leaders wakiongea au waambi time, lakini sisi tukiongea unatuambia time. Corruption iko kila mahali. Sasa mimi nataka kuuliza to our beloved president and our governor Susan Keheka. Kuna youth, kuna KEOP, kuna ajira, kuna vitu mingi sana za youth zimewekwa. Ni youth wagani wamesaidika? Watoto wakubwa ndo wanasaidika. Tukienda huko tunakosa msaada. Tukienda tukishikana vikundi, terms and conditions zenye wanataka tukifanya, hatupati hiyo pesa. Inaenda kwa watoto wakubwa wenye wanaitana aunties na uncles. Sasa swali yangu ni rahisi tu, ndio ni pass the mic.
Hiyo ni swali ngapi?
President na chama hii na governor wetu wako na mpango gani ya kupigana na corruption?
On this row, tafadhali. Stand up. Speak up please.
Yes.
Comrades, power. Comrades, power. Comrades, transact. Aya, basi tumpatie time. Speak up.
Okay, I'm Shema Rika from Egerton University. My question is just a general leadership question. Now that I saw in the program we are having inclusion leadership. My question is that, is the government aware of the harassment and abductions of young people who are trying to express themselves? Yeah, that is my question. And if they are aware, what are they doing? Yeah, that is my question.
Thank you very much. On this row, I want one question. Ushers, get me a mic here. I want a lady. I want a lady. Is there a lady here? Give this lady here. This lady here. Okay, you stand up, talk. Comrades, power. Aya, tupatie madam aulize swali. Kindly.
Thank you. My name is Sheila Kendi. And my question goes to the panelists who mentioned Article 43 of the Constitution. Article 43 of the Constitution, I agree, it clearly provides the right to accessible and adequate housing. And in the same article, there's right to education. So when we look at right to affordable housing, from where I come from, my village in Meru County, people have houses. People from vulnerable communities, they have a place to call home. And their goal is to ensure education of their children. They are working hard to make sure that their children access education. When you look at the new funding model, it is discriminatory in nature. We have addressed the whole issue of the new funding model, and I believe that the point is not yet home. We are focusing on the housing, and in this case, our parents want us to access education, and this education our parents want us to access, it is expensive as per the new funding model. And my question is, us focusing on the housing and not on education in this case, is it not a misplaced attention? And if not, substantiate. Thank you.
Apewe makofi mzuri, please clap for her. I'll come here. I'll start here. Because it's time to go home, you respond to the questions as short as possible and we get moving. Comrades, power! Comrades, power! Aya, now, UDA, come. Kuja, come. Kuja. Come, clap for him as he comes, please. Comrades, power! Comrades, power! Yeye nimeleta, mkisema tunasikiza. Sawa sawa? Ama namna gani?
Comrades, power! Comrades, power! Comrades, wisdom! Mimi nimekuwa nikinyima mic, sijui ni kwa nini. Nataka kuinject. Ni inject nisi inject? Hapa nimekuja kusema ukweli. Swali zote mmeuliza. Niseme nisiseme? Kwanza, hii party yetu ya UDA, this is our UDA party, iko na pesa. Haina. Si iko nayo? Kweli si kweli? Na hii party yetu ya UDA ime-create hii Comrades chapter ili watutem kama Gen Z 2027. Kweli si kweli? Niseme nisiseme? Niendelee? Na sasa mimi ni kuna kitu moja ya kuambia watu wetu wa UDA. One thing. I only have one thing. Hiyo pesa yote ya UDA na hii kitu yote yenye mmecreate sijui Comrades chapter. Hamwezi create Comrades chapter and then kitu mnakuja kutuambia hapa ni housing. Housing na tujasoma. Eti, let me continue. Comrades, relax. Acha nimalizie. Mheshimiwa hapa, Mheshimiwa namjua, former senator Mombasa, alisema they want to create a UDA academy. You cannot create a political academy na masomo ya hapa university atusomeshi. Kweli si kweli? La mwisho comrades. Comrades power. Ya mwisho comrades. Ninataka kusema hivi. Then if they want us to join this Comrades chapter, and if they want this Comrades chapter to work, then hiyo pesa yote UDA iko nayo, they must give our vulnerable students in our universities bursaries. Kweli si kweli? All the comrades with disabilities are suffering in our universities. The people with disabilities are suffering in our universities. This UDA party wakitaka tuwa join, wa make sure wameka welfare kiti yenye na cater for them. Kweli si kweli? Niendelee nisiendelee? Niendelee nisiendelee? Kuna yule jamaa wa Kabarak governor aliuliza swali ya kuinama. Hawajajibu, wamejibu hawajajibu. Comrades tunainama. Hiyo transaction wanasema ni ya leo tu, transaction ni ya leo. Wengine huko nje wanainama, watawasaidiaje? Niseme nisiseme? Asanteni comrades.
Pigia makofi, pigia makofi, piga makofi. Haya, comrades power. Comrades power. UDA comrades chapter hatuogopi. Tumekuja kuzungumza ama sio? Fungua roho, usiogope. Hello? Haya, moja kwa moja tujibu maswali, tusonge mbele. Please run. Moja, I'll give you please. Please. Just talk.
Sawa comrades. Nitajibu swali ya
Nakuru County. Ya Nakuru County.
Ya Nakuru County, but this guy from Kabarak.
Okay.
Kabarak is in Nakuru. Yule jamaa mwenye alisema anainama. So what he did indicate is that most of your projects get stalled because of lack of finances, right? Na wengine masomo pia ina stall sababu ya lack of pesa. So you listen.
Guys, let's give her, you have spoken, allow her to respond kindly.
So there's this challenge with the youths. They never access financial, in this institution of like banks, they're never given loans or financial assistance because huwa wanaitishwa collateral yenye hawana. But the government did establish the Youth Enterprise Fund in 2006 through state corporation under the Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports. This cascaded down to the respective counties, and you'll find that in each and every county, we have an office or a representative of the government handling the Youth Enterprise and Development Fund. So this fund is meant to kickstart the young entrepreneurs in their ventures. This fund is meant to train you on entrepreneurial skills and financial skills. Kwa wale wanapata tenders na wana pesa ya kufanya those tenders, this fund will enable you do those tenders. I'll move to the tenders. There's this question whether the county government gives tenders to the young people. Last year, there's something known as AGPO. I hope you all know what AGPO is. This is the government, tender government opportunities given to the youth, women, and the people, persons enabled differently. Last year, Nakuru County did 17% of AGPO. This year, we are 27.5%. If you get to PPIP even right now, that is the Public Procurement Information Portal, you get the tenders advertised there, and those that are reserved for the youth. Shida inakuanga capital ya kufanya hizi job. And I've clearly stated to you that there's that fund. In the county government of Nakuru, if you get to the Department of Trade and Cooperation, we have the Youth Enterprise Fund. Visit Apple. Explain to them where you've stalled, like you indicated you've stalled in your project. They shall verify and assist you. Regarding the youth engagement, in terms of job in Nakuru County, I think the governor has really tried, because if we start with agriculture, there's enough CDP that currently has engaged over 500 youths who are like enumerators, monitoring farmers, collecting data, and linking them to the market. If you get to environment, we have 35 youth groups engage in waste management and recycling, and they're earning out of it. You get to cleaning services, we usually engage youths, like 80%. And as you can see, Nakuru County has been ranked as the cleanest city, courtesy of our youths. You get to land and urban development and housing. Currently, there's 2,000 youths who are to be trained as artisans and certified by the NCA, National Constructions Authority. They're also partnering with the National Housing Corporation to train other youths on alternative building materials. Governor amejaribu. Amejaribu sana for the youth.
Asante. Asante sana. Comrades, power. Ningependa Honorable Duale. There's been a lot of issues that have been, I'll come there. But Honorable Duale, umesikia sauti ya kutoka Nakuru. Umesikia vilio, umesikia claps, umesikia mambo kama hayo. In a minute, I'd love you to speak to that quickly because we didn't give you so much time.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Na uguzie ufisadi, muhimu sana.
Okay. Thank you so much. I want to agree with, there's one gentleman who said that they did a lot of registration during the UDA by-elections here in London. And just the way Brian said, by the way, I'm not a girlfriend to anyone, so I'm a very straightforward human being. But
it's okay, let him talk. But
it's always very important. I was the treasurer of URP at 23 years old. You know, that tells you, I'm karibu nimalize youth, but nilijituma. One thing that I will want to tell the young people, or rather the comrades who are here today, that it's very important and vizuri sana tujitume. There's an issue ambayo ndugu yangu pale ameongea kuhusu ufisadi. You know, sometimes it's always good to put things the way they are. The president is doing, you know, we have to put policies in the first place. Like, for example, this chief that people are talking about. I'm not an expert. But imagine the NHIF. People were creating, you know, fake hospitals just to mint money. But now that we have these policies in place, I'm sure some of these corruptions are going to be moved out. So,
thank you.
As an assembly, up in Nakuru, we are doing our best. 60% of the legislators in the Nakuru County Assembly are young people, and we are doing this. We are all, every day we are asking for reports of even the 30% procurement opportunities that my friend mentioned there. So once we have these reports at the Assembly, we table and we give a report. So it is always very important you also petition us as an Assembly so that you can also ask these things on your behalf. Thank you.
Kuna comrade amekaa hapa hivi, youth inclusion. As the student leader who has been here and you've actually heard, you've seen what the people you actually lead are speaking to, I'd love you to actually can you ask these leaders who are seated here specifically what you think they should do for the comrades? Nataka directly wewe hapa hivi, in a minute, kindly.
Okay, asante.
Tawa, mko na kiongozi, acha aongee.
Asante. My request to the leaders sitting here, starting from our super section, Mheshimiwa Hassan Omar, I'd like to request you. Kuna issue umeongelelewa about kuinama. That's real. Kuinama, actually most of these people sitting here wasipoenda nyumbani na actually hata mimi nikikuja hapa chakula kitu kutoka hapa, so hopefully kuna kitu iko hapo tunakula kidogo na some allowance. Alafu Mheshimiwa, kindly.
It's okay. Just proceed.
Mheshimiwa, kindly, ukienda huko kwa wewe ni rais unafikia Mheshimiwa Ruto. Ukimfikia mwambie tuko na issues kidogo na hii funding model. I know kuna committee inashughulikia hiyo, wanaishughulikia. Hopefully by the time wanamaliza, unajua actually acha niwaambie there is a committee yenye ilikuwa selected and we are lucky that one of us from Egerton was selected among them. So hopefully atakuja na positive results. By the time inatoka, to go optimistic that changes come made, na all comrades should feel as comrades, to get discriminated. Lastly, nani moderator, I want to answer, kuna swali nani ameuliza Nimo about marginalized communities. So, as youths, Let's have unity of purpose. Usiseme mimi ni wa Nyanza, usiseme mimi ni wa Murima, usiseme mimi ni wa wapi. We are youth. Na tukiamua ni 2027 tunasema we are youth. Mambo na ethnical tribal lines tuachane nayo. Ndio hata ni mimi nikisimama huko kwetu Nyamira simtani support. Wale wa Nyamira mko hapa.
Asante.
So tuachane mambo na tribal lines. Sisi wote ni wa Kenya na sisi wote ni comrades. Comrades power.
Power.
Comrades wisdom.
Asante. Honorable Wamurada. Wamaida. Can I say thank you on her behalf? Please.
Comrade power. Mini comrade kama nyinyi. Mini comrade wa...
Okay.
Mini comrade University of Nairobi. Na nataka kusema hivi, nimeelewa shida penye iko. Sisi hatuwaelewi kenye munapitia through mkiwa shule. Lakini nataka niwaambie hivi, kama watu wa Nakuru, as a nominated member wa Nakuru, this is a solution yenye nawapatia within my means and my power. Nimesema I'm sponsoring a bill, and the reason kwa nini nilisponsor hii bill, it's one thing. Tuache kumekiwa decisions with our budget as the youth of Nakuru County. What the bill will do, it will create a board where you, the youth, will be heading that board, will be making decisions on the budget of the youth. Why am I saying this? Kama mna make your budget, si mtakaa chini mseme ni wangapi wanainama, tutengeneze hizo programs zenye watu wanainama ndio wapate kitu ya kukula. Hii story hamtaki, hivyo ndio iko. Otherwise, if you are not in the decision making, and this is what the solution we are trying to give you, we have to empower you to make the decision making. We have to give you rules and policies so that you can make the decisions.
Thank you.
Yes.
Asante. Comrades power. I want us to actually, I have realized we have got so much that is unaddressed. I love us to come up with a framework that ensures that hii conversation haiishi hapa. First and foremost, I want the leadership of the Comrades chapter UDA to come up. Wakuje hapa. Brian. These are our interim leaders. Comrades power. Mtu hakatai mwito, anakata aliloitiwa. So, ninataka kuintroduce leaders up, and then I propose the next stage. If you don't listen to me and them, we are not moving. So the interim leadership, come here. Interim leadership that are available here. I love them to stand. Then I want the panelists to stand as well. Comrades power. Comrades power. Fine. Now, can you listen to me? I want your 2 minutes of silence so that I speak. I have got 2 years, so let's get moving. Number one, we have got an interim leadership here to start this conversation because we want these chapters to go up to the college level. What we will be moving, and the proposals we want to move from here, mkitoka hapa, you give us a regimented structure on how we engage you mpaka pale chini, so that then this town hall does not end here. Sisi wote wenye tumekaa hii side ingine nataka tusimame. I want us to do one thing. All of us. Let's all stand up. Let's all stand up. All of us stand up. We've been sitting for a very long time. I want us to search. Comrades, power. Comrades, power. Okay. So I wanted you to see these people. I want to bring in the SG. He's going to actually guide as we move.
Asanteni sana. Just have a seat as we do the concluding aspects. Nataka kuambia hawa vijana wenzenu, your fellow youth, these young men and women came to us with an idea. This idea is now being actualized through the Comrades chapter. It is being actualized through these town halls, and through them, in a consultative process, we will do two things. We will lead a process of electing a more representative leadership that is emanating from the comrades, by the comrades, and for the comrades. Number two, we shall also ensure that we have a program, that program that gives you the capacity to engage with policy and to engage with politics. So that, inshallah, by the grace of God, so that we are able, together with this leadership, to interrogate more and more of the policies, so that policies that are made by this government are more responsive to the needs of the young people. And secondly, policies made by this government are able to ensure that some of you then are able to get that leadership position eventually. As James said, once upon a time, like many of us, they were there. One day, you will also come here onto this platform, so that then you become the transition from that policy participation to policy implementation. So for 1 minute, I will allow the chair to speak and wish you well and tell you how they want to integrate and bring on board the broader formation of the comrades. Then we give the closing summations to the Economic Council and the panel. Then we will now look for a way not to come to a town hall, but to come to your universities one after another and other higher institutions of learning, including TVETs and ARVIST and all other places, so that we can engage you in constructive policy discussion, including the funding model and other things that affect you directly. So, Brian Kipkorir, say something.
Comrades, wisdom. Comrades, power. Wait first. Wait. I will allow my SG first to say something, then I'll be finalizing for my comments. Thank you.
Tafadhalini, we must allow people to speak. Speaking is a way of engagement and getting constructive engagement. Kwa hivyo, let us agree. Let us speak. Wacha Gitonga ongea kidogo. Gitonga is from one of the universities. Just introduce yourself.
Comrades, wisdom. Comrades, wisdom. Comrades, there's no bride price too high for a beautiful woman. Comrades, wisdom. Comrades, I think I'll just address one thing. We are an interim team. We are not the final team. The idea emanated from our chairperson called Brian Korir. He had an idea to engage with the government. He's the one who will speak, and probably I think for those who were with at the beginning, we began on how this journey began. And so, comrades, there will be elections. My friend over there has told me that we should choose somebody from there. My brother in a blue shirt, you mentioned that we should choose somebody from this region. So we are just an interim team. We are the ones who brought up the idea, and we want to ensure that we will be able to leave structures that once we do elections, say kama ukisha kuwa preso, you'll find something already ready-made. Sio iko sawa?
Sana. Wacha sasa tumpatie Brian.
Comrades, I want to speak with you. And we have to recognize a situation in ground that is happening in the state affairs of this country. We need to be informed, we need to be engaged, we need to lead together with this government. And by that virtue, I think it's very important we all agree as youths, not by segment, not by factions. We have to stand as a youth. So my clarion call to you people, as whenever we are doing in the interim course of this chapter, we are here to get your issues. Those issues that you are saying are the ones that we're going to take on place in the initiative of the action call to enable the changes that are needed to ensure that the comrades all over the country can be inclusive in that leadership and in the structure that help us to guide this comrades chapter going forward. Asanteni sana.
Sasa mujitambulishe mmoja baada mwingine, jitie jina na institution yako na ile kazi unafanya wakati unaendelea kukaa. Haya.
I'm Vivian Nyaminta Bosire from the Technical University of Kenya.
I am Tony Ogembo from Mount Kenya University. Allow me just say this. Kindly.
Okay, just give it to the next. Give it to the next person. We'll talk later. Please, we'll have a forum to engage. Aya, introduce your co-host. Simunamona huyo.
Mogesi Maroa, President MKU Parklands Law Campus and the Chair of the Council of Governors in the Executive Council of the UDA Students Chapter.
Aya.
I am Oba Abdi. I'm the interim treasurer of the UDA Comrades Chapter, and I'm from the University of Nairobi.
Aya, just introduce yourself, please. You've already spoken.
I am Evan Serem from Kabarak University.
Comrades of Goodwill, I'm Cherio Ronald from Multimedia University of Kenya, and I work with the national team.
Aya, Patea Robin.
I'm Robin Omondi Mito from the Technical University of Kenya. I'm the Secretary of Membership.
Aya, vile waliweza kuja wako wajua what happened. This is not the entire council. And as we move around, we will create inclusivity. Kwa hivyo, for now, this is an interim team that has planted the seed. This interim team will now make sure they are inclusive, because this is not only for university students, it's for all institutions of higher learning. Kwa hiyo, kwa kuweza kuweka msingi so that they set the ball rolling, wacha tuamkue comrade. Also remind me of my days when we shook the Moi regime. Nikisema comrade power, tuseme power to these young men. Comrades power! Comrades power! Comrades power! Asanteni sana. Sasa, Professor Machuki, kuna maswala yaliulizwa juu ya universal health care. Kuna maswala yaliulizwa juu ya education, which is their principal goal. Can you please respond to some of those issues?
Thank you very much. First and foremost, let me take this opportunity to appreciate the issues that have been raised here. Part and parcel of the agenda for this meeting is actually leadership, mentorship. And when you talk about mentorship, you must have a mentor and a mentee. And when you get into the political realm, there are some democratic ideals that are important. And one of them is universal. It is love one another, respect one another, and have a common purpose as young people. So, the questions that have been asked about universal health coverage and the new funding model, but I would like to draw the attention to the fact that there is bound to be issues to do with resistance. Resistance comes in two ways. One, resistance to those who are affected. Number two, there is a system issue, systemic. The resources are not adequate, or the structures are not there, or the systems are not there to deliver. But one thing that I want to assure us is that the new funding model was well intended. Let me say this. I don't want to go into a conversation that will land me in trouble, because the matter is in court, but I want to say this. Let me draw a parallel. All of us seated here went through university, and we were receiving funding from Higher Education Loans Board. The funding we were receiving was not the same across. I received 30,000 throughout my entire study, and there are all those other colleagues of mine who received 40, 50, 60. At that point, the information we were giving help was used to determine the level of need
to give us the funding that we needed. So this issue of banding has not started yesterday. It has been there, only that it was never disclosed to us that you have been given this 30,000 because your level of need was determined. It was never disclosed to us. What we have done and what government is doing is to disclose that funding will be advanced according to the level of need. Secondly, for those of us who are talking about the differentiated unit cost, the differentiated unit cost had many problems. I've not had any one of us here, now that we said, Bwana Secretary General, that this Comrades chapter is a chapter that will be able to put together issues and mainstream the comrades in the policy-making process in government, because that is the intent. Leadership, mentorship. I have not heard from any one of us here who can come and present a comparative empirical analysis of the differentiated unit cost funding model and the new funding model, and then be able to advance the merits of the former against the demerits of the current. All that conversation is probably what the committee that has been established will come up with. But by the end of the day, the empirical fact is that the new, the differentiated unit cost framework of funding universities almost brought universities to a halt. 23 universities were almost becoming bankrupt. They were being liquidated because of that funding model. And now, this one, the lady who talked about the difference between, the need between affordable housing and affordable university education, right? She was there when she was speaking, so she's seated here, right? You may get to have data. There are those who need this social affordable housing more, and there are those who need affordable education as well. So we are dealing with social deficiency. There are those who require decent housing and affordable housing. There are also those who require affordable education. Government is there by virtue of constitutional requirement to provide both to all of them. So there is no discrimination. In terms of funding, the differentiated unit cost was not student-based. It was not student-based. It was a University of Nairobi, Egerton University. You have 100 students whom you have admitted, taking different courses. We give you a wholesome figure of 800,000 shillings for all those students. Within that, you have students who have a higher need. You have students who do not have any need at all. Now, how do you deal with that inequality? That was spreading inequality. This time, if you go to University of Nairobi, you are doing engineering. You are in Egerton, you are doing veterinary medicine. Funding follows you. The university is offering you service. Government is buying that service on your behalf from the university. So if your level of need is so extreme, that has to be exhibited by your application process, the information you give. Right? And then, government is able to give you scholarship that you will not refund equivalent to your level of need. How better can it be? I am here a professor of University of Nairobi, and I'm working in government. And you are from your parents. I don't know what your parents do, but I assume your parents are paupers. They don't have any income. Then my kid is funded the same as you. Yet I'm able to afford. I'm able to afford. So why will I get government funding at the same level as you who needs it more? Have you answered that? Have you can answer that question? That is the intent of the new funding model, nothing else. The issues about implementation and all that are issues that relate to the means testing instrument, the information you supply when you apply for funding. So, I want to avoid going into details because matters that can be canvassed in court will, bring evidence and all that. And I will be very interested to actually get to know what is it that is defective in the new funding model. When it comes to discrimination, we talk about discrimination. In the Kenyan system, the Kenyan economic system, you have the haves and the have-nots. Why will it be possible that some of ourselves in society, we live in upmarket residences, others are in slums? It's according to the level of affordability and economic power. This is the same thing that goes all the way to the services that the government is providing. So, in terms of critiquing the new funding model, I want to urge all of us, now that the party is molding you as potential leaders who will play a role in conversations regarding to policy, please, one, an assignment for you. Just get the data and the statistics about around 5 years back when the differentiated unit cost was being implemented by government. And the year 2022, when the KCSE students 2022 were admitted on the new funding model, and 2023. Then get the facts right, because you have your intellectual output. There are statisticians here, you have economists here, and all of us. So that we can engage in this conversation in a manner that is fact-based, not attitudinal, perceptual, and fiction. Let us face the facts. This aspect of discrimination, that the new funding model is discriminatory, it is the use of the term discriminatory does not apply, because for all the time government has funded universities, even in the previous model, HELP used to give us loans at different rates. Omar Hassan Omar, right? I was with you. You were receiving 10,000. I was receiving 30. The reason why you were receiving 10 is because you supplied information which placed you, your level of need was not so much as mine. There was someone who was receiving 60,000. And it was never disclosed to us. The only mistake that we have done is to make things open and transparent. And we are ready to engage. I don't want to go deeper, but that is the case. Young sister, the issue of affordable housing, it is probably because your parents have given you some shelter, but you have not confronted a case where there is need for affordable housing. Thank you very much.
Asante sana. Njue say something, and then we close with Bwana James Maina for 1 minute. Njue.
Okay, thank you very much, SG. There's a lady from KU who talked about the export of labor, and she wanted to know where they can actually visit to get more information, and whether agencies charge anything to job seekers. Now, if you go to our website, I'll repeat it, www.neaims.go.ke. You'll find the list of the counties where we are. And here in Nakuru, we are actually at Repa Building along Moi Avenue or Moi Road. Now,
let's get going.
Yes, let's finish up.
Okay, so again, if you visit our website, you'll be able to know or to get the list of all the registered recruitment agencies. Please don't make use of any unregistered agency to travel. And you must always insist on getting a work visa anytime you get a contract with the recruitment agencies that we've registered. Please ensure that you engage registered recruitment agencies only and not unregistered agencies. Thank you.
Asante sana. Let us hear a little from our brother James Maina on matters of university housing, students' housing, hostels, and housing. Just put on the mic, please.
Can you pay attention, please? Attention. Comrades Power. You know, when I was a student like you, I never thought I would come in front of students again and answer tough questions like I used to ask. So I salute you all for the questions that you have asked. Let me say, someone asked whether the affordable housing program will transcend the next government. Yes, housing is already anchored in the Constitution, and therefore, unless the Constitution is changed, you cannot change the light that is enshrined in the Constitution. Number two, that right is actualized by the Affordable Housing Act that was enacted by Parliament. And the Affordable Housing Act provides the purposes of that act is to provide construction of affordable housing, as well as provide long-term funding models for home ownership. What we are doing currently is giving houses at a long-term tenant purchase, meaning the rent that you pay to that house reduces the amount of money that house has been sold to you. And the long term goes to that years, meaning you are already secured for the next generation. So affordable housing program is here to stay. It has been used by governments across the world to provide employment, to provide home ownership. The goods that you find we import from, for example, China. China was able to develop its own manufacturing industry because of working on affordable housing program. Today, you students who are in school, you want to get jobs after you leave. You want to gain skills as you are in school. And these programs, projects that we are working on, offers training, training areas for students. The program is also working with MSc and Gachagua'S. How? We have set aside 75 items across the construction that are given directly to Juakari and to SMC to produce. And we hope this production that is being done by MCs will eventually culminate to cottage industries, like what is happening in China, like what is happening in India. Tiles, for example, in India are never produced by big factories. They are produced by cottage industries. And that's what we hope. We are incubating businesses from Juakari to MSME and to greater investments. And therefore, this is a program that is offering opportunity. Lastly, on skills, let me say, every opportunity that you get to develop your skills doubles your opportunity for success. So when you go back to your schools, the students who are working within the built environment, those who are also working in finance, the opportunities are broad both in this affordable housing program. And to add my speech, let me say also this. Opportunities for leadership are not only in the political seats that are given out by the Constitution. Many presidents, President Truman of the US, now using that country, President George W. Bush, all of them were managers before they became presidents. So you can still become a manager and develop to become a leader and a political leader. So you can be incubated in several areas. You can be incubated like Secretary General, who went straight to politics. Our professor here went to the university, he's still a leader. So let's try all opportunities that are given out by society, and then we'll become better leaders and we build a better Kenya for all. Thank you.
Asante sana. I am extremely grateful to shukuru mapanelists wetu, tunashukuru moderators wetu, but most importantly, na washukuru nyote ma comrades on my behalf, on behalf of the party, on behalf of the party leader, His Excellency President William Ruto. We are extremely grateful. We feel the honor, we feel the excitement, and we believe we will continue to engage to deepen our democracy and for a better Kenya. Asanteni, asanteni vijana, asanteni wanafunzi, asanteni moderators. Comrades power. Sasa tuimbe national anthem yetu ambao pia ni maombi, na tuende tukiwa kwa pamoja.